What if playing it safe was actually the riskiest move of all? I met up with businessman turned professional actor and comedian Joe Finfer to learn what happens when you trade years of financial security for the chance to achieve your dreams. And we just might answer that question that keeps so many of us up at night. Welcome back to Promenade.
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Master, brand new year, Joe Finfer, actor, writer, comedy club founder, so many things.
Thank you very much.
Now I would, as we start, as you're an improv man as well, I do want to do like a word association game.
Okay.
Would you humor me?
I'll play along with you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
First word that comes to mind with each of these phrases that you hear. Corporate.
Death.
Audition. Also death.
Struggle? No, struggle.
Spreadsheet.
Love.
Stage.
Love.
PowerPoint.
Hate.
Pretend.
Fun.
Freedom.
Important.
And the last one, success.
Success. Not crucial.
Not crucial. I find it interesting that you, of all people, say that, because as I was thinking about how your life has progressed so far, right? You've done something that many, many people, I think, dream of doing, but have never either had the gall to do or haven't found the way, in the sense that you spent a portion of your life falling in love with different practices like theater and acting, right? You spent over 2 decades doing something completely different, right? That's, as you described yourself, like can be soul-sucking and isn't something that lights you up. And yet somehow, 20 years later, you made your way back and you made it something you can do regularly with success. So in a lot of the ways, I'd say you are the definition of that success.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm always reaching for that success. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's always, 2 more steps ahead of me.
Well,
So
I think that's part of what makes it a self-perpetuating thing, though, right? Is the types of people who always are going, okay, I haven't made it yet, there's more to be done.
Yeah.
Are the people that are going to end up further than those who have just one tangible idea and they hit it and they're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
You're never fully good. There's always something more.
Yeah, that's probably what finally pushed me out of the world of corporate intrigue. Not intrigue. A lot of years sitting behind a computer in a dark room and having to go to a whole lot of meetings, and that was kind of what it was.
I was gonna ask, at what point does your inner child file a formal complaint and say like, hey, we need to pivot, we need to go find that thing that makes me happier? How did that happen?
My wife will say that I've never really bottled my inner child up. So it's there's always a difference between work and life.
Okay.
In life, man, I'm still 13, 14 years old most of the time.
Childlike, not childish.
Yeah. Well, no,
childlike.
again, my wife would argue with you on that. I think that in working the job 18, 19 years, the same company, it hit that point and it just kind of like the new things that came in front of me weren't as exciting as they had been. I didn't really care as much to learn something new.
The flavor got softer.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds good.
Yeah. Speaking of things that sound good, are you a fan of handcuffs?
Am I a fan of handcuffs? No.
Would you call that job like golden handcuffs?
It had I stayed in it, 100% would have been. Now, when I quit, whenever I retired, resigned, however you want to think about it, when I did that, I didn't have a plan to go into acting. While I was going through that period, it was like I'm trying to really figure out what it is that I want to do. I had some friends give me a couple of books, so
Right.
I read through some stuff, and self-help books aren't really not really my bag. But there's a couple of interesting things that were in some of these books that just made me stop and think back. And throughout all the years that I was working in corporate America, the one thing that always came back to was every year I would go and do searches for acting studios. Or I would, just because it was a thing that I did whenever I was in high school and in college that I loved the most. And so it was always that idea of as soon as I've saved enough, or one day I'll go back and give this a try, or something along those lines, right?
That pretty ex you've always wanted to call up again.
That's right, yeah.
Give it another shot.
That's right.
I love my wife.
Yeah, same.
I don't have one.
You don't have one.
I want one.
But no, I love my wife very much, and I don't have an ex that I'm trying to go back to. So please don't put that out there and give my life.
When you did that first commercial, that first like foray back into it after such a long time, was there a sense on say the drive home from the filming, was there a sense that I found it?
It was not on the drive home. I just happened to get a call. So I had I hadn't cut my hair in a year. I hadn't shaved in probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. These guys just called me up and asked if I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And it was that moment, the kind of excitement of like, oh, wow.
That worked.
Yeah. This thing that I was afraid to step away from my job to try, once I actually did and tried it, it can work. You can do this. That was that moment of like,
aha.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You know, you sometimes get so excited about something, like you find yourself full. The excitement is the entirety of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that was the feeling that I had whenever that happened. It was like every bit of me was like, holy shit. Oh, I'm gonna film something. I might be on TV. That's like from a kid, that was my dream. It was a really cool moment. And so the whole 3-hour drive back from their house was just a giant smile the whole time. Just, oh gosh, this is very exciting.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, what do you think somebody else can learn from that experience?
Like if there's something that you kind of have in your head of this might be fun to do, just fucking try it. If it's something that you really love and something that you're really interested in, putting it off, takes away that years of that fulfillment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gosh, was there a sense of like, almost like a pang of regret where you're like, shit, I should have done this ages ago.
Yeah.
Why did I spend so much time in deliberation when I could have been doing this?
Yeah, I mean, of course. It is. Yes. I have those regrets of why didn't I, whenever I got fired from my job at 22, why didn't I just follow through with the idea of putting it all together and doing it then? You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I had done that, right, I probably wouldn't be in Austin anymore. I would not have met my wife. If I hadn't met her, I wouldn't have my daughter. Right? And so all the choices that I made were the right choices at the time. It's not stuff that I would ever go back in time and take back. I mean, I'm sure there's small choices that I made that were shitty, me being shitty about something that I would probably change. But like the big choices in life, I don't think there's any of them that I would go back and change because I wouldn't be who I am and where I am.
There is this sense that it is never too late. However much time has passed, there's a very real possibility you're right where you should have been at that exact moment. And just because you spent a great deal of time doing something that isn't your absolute favorite does not mean it wasn't of any value.
Sure.
And it could be preparing you for what is to come, right? The second act, I think of it like you had your first act and now you're in your second.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I saw you recently did a commercial with NBA superstar Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
Does he smell as good as he looks?
Well, yes. He smelled very nice. I'll start there. He smelled very nice. I don't know about after a game, but for the lie detector test, he was lovely. It was a lot of fun to film. It was unusual. I walked back up to after they were filming something so I could hook some sensors up on him, and he asked me if that was my real job.
What?
If I was if my job was to
so immersed.
give a lie detector test. I was like, no, man, I'm an actor.
No, I'm an actor. Like, I'm pretending. He's like,
this is my job. Like before that, he was kind of, standoffish and. But after that, he loosened up.
Oh, he thought you were a Fed, basically.
Maybe. I don't know. It was weird, but it was a good time.
With all talk of starting over, second acts, new beginnings, is there a myth you think we could destroy right now about starting over?
I think that the myth of safety is one that I think people need to step away from time to time. Like, I'm going to keep doing this because it's safe, right? And I get it. There's a lot of people that, that they need that safety. But realizing once you do step away from it and take that big risk, right, and really throw whatever out there that you can, like throw everything away in the hopes of starting over, it can lead to bigger and even better things. So,
do you feel like it's almost necessary to leap before you're going to get caught?
I think you have to. to. It's like walking into the pool, right? It's probably a cheesy way to think about it, right? But as you walk into the pool, the slower you go, the colder it is to get in. But if you just jump in, then it's a big shock and it's done.
Kind of yank the Band-Aid off all at once.
Yeah. Almost everything that I think prevents us from moving forward is fear-based. You know what I mean? And fear is, it's important to have a healthy amount of fear in your life.
Right.
But recognizing, there's a difference between, going and standing on the edge of a, 50-story building versus I'm gonna quit my job and try and find something new.
Right.
One of them you have a misstep and you're dead. The other one you have a misstep and you may have a little bit more debt than you had before.
It is so easy to get attached to security, to people, right?
Yeah.
This is something I've thought about a lot recently in life, just a sense of attachment and how much attachment I put in things that are outside of my own locus of control.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get attached to those things and feel like it's almost a small death of the soul if you let go.
Yeah. And it's, everything that is in our lives today is designed to keep us in those small groups.
How do you mean?
So your social media, everything is tuned on it to point you in a certain direction, right? The algorithm controls a lot of what you do, and the algorithm is based off of what you have already done, right? So the idea of growth becomes harder. So if everything you're doing, or if everything you're guided towards is based off of something you've already done, then you're not really being guided towards anything new.
Right, you're just caught in a feedback.
That's right. That's right. And so everything that's in our world today is kind of built around that. Unless we are separating ourselves from it, all we will ever get is stuck in a feedback loop.
Interesting. Do you think there's in some way a solution to this?
I don't think that there is a solution that's going to be given to us. I think that the only solution is us making the choice to seek out other types of information, things that maybe make you feel uncomfortable, digging in and trying to understand alternate points of view.
You have to seek out clean information of your own type.
We do that in all aspects of our life, right? So if you're looking for a job, it doesn't typically just come to you. You have to go out and seek it.
Yeah.
You have to prep yourself for it. Same thing in acting, right? It's not going to just come to you. It's always up to you to find these things to help you move forward with what you want to do or who you want to be. I'm a big proponent of just going with the flow as well. Whatever comes, okay, that's cool. We'll deal with that. I think how you choose to deal with those kinds of things, and then recognizing when you actually have to make a leap into something new.
Right.
Yeah, I'm old, man.
I don't know about that.
I've got
I don't know about that.
years of life behind me.
Well, you got years of life in front of you too.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
do you have a piece of advice someone's given you that you remember to this day?
Never be afraid to share what it is that you're feeling or what it is that you think, because it's if you keep that inside of you, right, then it's just going to stew and eventually it's going to erupt. And two, it's good for other people to hear that point of view that maybe they don't have.
I think it also gives other people permission to some degree.
Yeah.
Right. When you see someone else being outspoken, you feel more comfortable being outspoken yourself. Right.
The hardest lesson in all that for me was learning how to do it tactfully.
Yes.
And not seeming like an asshole or seeming mean in the way that I said the things. I've got a voice that just inherently
It's firm.
can seem brash And so a lot of times I may say something without any malice, but it's taken fully with malice, right? And so figuring out the right way to handle that, right? It's still a struggle. You know, it'll be a struggle until the day I die, or eventually I just give up and won't care and just say whatever I want. Going into the world of acting and writing and so on, right? It is, don't be afraid to say what it is that you want to say.
Let your voice be heard.
Yeah.
Speak up. Don't be an asshole about it. You just might give someone else
if that's
permission.
the advice that I can give to anybody,
Yes.
right, is you know, share your thoughts, but just don't be an asshole about it.
But say what you really think, and it might help somebody else.
Sandwich
out
it in
here.
compliments.
Exactly. Thank you for hanging out with Joe and I. He's a very talented person. The very first of the year. If you can think of anyone else fascinating like Joe that you think I should talk to, please just let me know in the comments below. Other than that, we look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and be good. Noah Master, Joe Finfer, Promenade.
Thanks, Joe.